Alrighty. So welcome. Uh, this is my new tier. Well, this is the tier list for Fault. Uh, this is what's gonna look like. Obviously, I'm working with a lot more limited resources than Smite, so it definitely looks a lot less good. I can't believe I can't believe I made that video so long. God dang it! I was really hoping to make it like only an hour long, but it's so hard to talk about each character and why they deserve to be in that tier when you're working with 100+ characters. But thankfully, there's only 20 in this game so far, so this will go a lot quicker. Um, as you recall, this was my last tier list. Very outdated to say the very least. Um, like most of it, it's not even really true anymore. Uh, but we will get right into it. So, this is right after my Smite video, so God, but here we are in default. So for starters, we're gonna go with Muriel. So, Muriel is obviously a support. She's pretty good with her shields. She has a very strong early because she could get people out of ganks pretty easily. She can shield them as well. She speeds their movement up a dramatic amount to escape junglers pretty easily. Her mid game kind of struggles because she doesn't really have too much like her shields aren't too great just yet, but in late game she picks up again. Uh, so for her, I definitely say she's A tier. A tier. She's really good. Not much to complain about Muriel. She can also help a team very easily with her ult. Uh, yeah, not much to say about Muriel. She's just good. Good for a team fight. She's always there when you need her the most. So, not much to complain about. Also, if you're wondering what happened to D and F tier, D and F tier were eliminated due to balance changes. Balance changes that made the characters a lot more synced to each other. They're a lot more balanced. I don't think there's any character that goes below C at all. They're at most, at the very least, they are, you know, just situational picks. But at the very best, they're just very good. So, without further ado, now you do see there is a new Super SS plus tier, and we'll get to that later. Uh, but for now, let's start out with, or our secondary character we'll choose is Murdock. So Murdock is carry, does pretty good damage. Uh, I feel like he really struggles early game because he has no like he doesn't have like a shield like Grim. He doesn't have dodge ability like Twin. He doesn't have like that extra damage boost like Sparrow does. Murdock's early is very crap. His mid game is sort of ick. His late game is really good. His late game is when he finally shines. But until then, he's kind of poopy. But overall, not a bad hero. Basically just average, I'd say. Um, which honestly, I actually think he might go down here. Just because like I said, he has a great late game. It's just his early and mid are just so bad. It kind of just makes him go down a little. Um, Next we have Quang. Quang is extremely tanky, has lots of life steal. Uh, he has both forms of damage, which makes him pretty strong. Uh, I don't think he's S tier though. I definitely think he's definitely a strong pick and pretty close to S. I don't think he is S though, to be quite honest. I don't think he's quite that level, to be completely honest, because his weakness is definitely like stuns. Well, I mean, really anyone's weakness is that, but his especially because he relies a lot on lifesteal for his tankiness, and since he's going for a hybrid, a stun would really mess him up pretty bad. Grim, really good carry. Um, has both forms of damage as well. I actually say he probably goes an S, just because he has a pretty good early. He's got a shield that protects him from stuns. Um, and he has a lot of different abilities he can use. Plus, like I said, he's got both forms of damage, so he's a really good carry overall. Very complicated though, very complicated to build, but once you figure it out, he's pretty freaking amazing. Decker, another support. I feel like Decker's really good. Decker's like one of the most picked now. Um, Between her and Muriel, it really depends. Muriel's better in a team fight. However, when it comes to catching people off guard, getting objectives, and really, even still, like she's pretty. Like if you have a lot of melee heroes, she's really good because she can like box them all in, so like anyone that's trying to escape can't escape. Therefore, all your melee heroes on your team can just mess them up badly, especially if they're wounded. Decker is really good for clearing out Prime because she can block the enemy team from even getting to it with her ult. And she's got really good stuns. She can jump over obstacles. Really good support overall. Greystone, a very simple and dareable tank fighter. Uh, Overall, I feel like I don't think he's definitely not S because his early game and mid game are questionable. His early game especially because he could be basically out. He basically could be beaten in early game by almost everyone in the game. So just be warned. He is good, but by God, does he gets his shit wrecked when it comes to fighting anyone. But like, I feel like he's only like in early game. I feel like he's only good against one character, and that's maybe Boris. But even then, like Boris can still put up a pretty hell of a fight. Um. So Chimera is gonna have to go A tier as well. I don't think he's overpowered in any way. Just because characters like Steel, Narbash, and Richter, also Grux, can pretty much batter him down pretty quickly with their stuns, prohibiting him from even attacking, which, of course, is basically his entire arsenal. If he can't attack, he's basically screwed. So, honestly, he's not a bad pick ever, but you do gotta be warned about your counters, for sure. Narbash, oh, how the mighty have fallen for real. I used to believe he was like the best support, but he's situational at best because of the stuns mainly. The stuns just counterdict his entire ult, and it's so easy to counter his ult because it lasts so long. His movement speed's great and all, but there's an item in the game that allows you to move even faster than Narbash's ability. Granted, you can stack both Narbash's ability and that item together to make it incredibly fast, but I mean, even so, I mean, it's still a thing in the game that, like your movement speed isn't going to be like too much of an advantage when that's in the game. So really the only thing you have is going to be like your healing and your thunks. And half the time your thunks either they can cancel it out by doing some sort of animation, or well, they can't really cancel it out by doing an animation. It's really just for whatever reason it just seems like a lot of characters can, like Greystone can block it with his shield, Grim can block it with his shield. If you get Warlord's Aegis, you can block it with that. Really, any stun can be blocked with the Warlord's Aegis, but still, it makes Narbash a lot less useful over the other supports because outside of his healing, which isn't like his healing isn't better than Muriel's shielding, and he can't like chase people down like Decker can without like getting wrecked or something. So really, like Narbash, unfortunately, he's not a. I'm not saying he's a bad pick, he can, like, I've definitely done really really good with Narbash. It's just you gotta be aware that you are not a powerful support. Like, you gotta think outside the box with Narbash. You gotta be very unpredictable, and you yeah, it's all about unpredictability and just outplaying your opponents. You gotta fight. You gotta like attack at the right perfect times in order to really do some damage. Um, let's see. So we have Gideon. Gideon is going to be. Gideon. I'd have to say he's. I don't think he's S just because his ult can also be canceled just like Narbash's. However, I do think with his rocks and all, he's definitely A tier. A A tier for Gideon. He's really really good. Um, he can be very aggressive and he can escape quite a bit of situations. You do gotta be careful though because characters like Chimera or Boris or Murdock will definitely chase you down and just destroy you whenever they get the chance. Um, the next character is none other than Boris. It might become a surprise for you, but Boris has fallen from the heavens finally after all this time. Boris is no longer. I'm not saying he is completely perfect yet, but he is probably just A tier now. He has definitely fallen from grace. Um, he's a lot less powerful than he used to be. Uh, does a lot less damage. His unstoppable was nerfed, so he can get stunned a lot quicker than before, which is really good. His healing was reduced. There's an item that literally counters him. I mean, he's still pretty strong if you let him get there, but I mean, really anyone can become very powerful if you let them. So, like, this is how it is. So, yeah, Boris is probably just A tier, though. I wouldn't say he's any higher than that, though. Kalari. Kalari. Yeah, Kalari's S tier. Kalari is really good for early ganking. Really good. It's a very easy victory when you just early gank constantly. They can't hardly ever see you. You can jump over obstacles so you can sneak around and just stab them. And yeah, it's really hard to. It's mainly just early game though. If you let them get the late game, she really does fall off. But yeah, it's just her early to mid game is really good. And even in late game, she can pick off your damagers pretty easily if she goes full damage. But that's that's about it though. Um, Gadget, definitely like she was F tier, but after her buffs, she has definitely risen up, and I would definitely say she's probably at the same as Gideon. She's really good now. She has insane slow. She can speed up her entire team to go a little faster. She has a ult that's really good for defending any point or capturing a Fang, like a Raptor or a War Prime. Very, very good. Morgesh is absolutely ridiculous. S tier for her. Her early to mid game. Well, really, just any point in the game. She has no weak point in the game. She's strong no matter what point in the game she's in. Early, mid, late. She's good at any given time. She does a lot of damage, a lot of burst damage very quickly. Uh, requires almost no skill to play her as well. And yeah, it's busted. Her kid right now, it's insane. The next we have is Steel, the stun god. Steel, he's still good. I feel like he has been a little bit dropped a bit, but he is still very, very good. Um, Good for team fight, good for capturing raptors because he can stun their jungler a bit. Um, yeah, pretty good for, and he can put shields down for your team, which is really nice as well. Sparrow S tier. She does a lot of damage, lots and lots of damage. With either her ult, really any ability she has, she does a lot of damage with. Um, yeah, Sparrow's insane. Even when you get close to her, she can just ult and just plow you like she just hits as hard as a train in late game, dude. Oh my god, it is just insane, dude. um, Twin Blast. I've seen a lot of like very sweaty Twin Blast players. I'd say he's about the. I think he's about the same as Sparrow, honestly. Uh, Very oppressive. I feel like he's really good like early to mid game, but late game he does still do a bit, but I feel like Sparrow has a stronger late than he does. Um, Bellica, ugh, Bellica is definitely, yeah, Bellica's S tier. She has a lot of she has a lot of like I like her stun mainly is just so dumb. Like she could just kill you so quickly with her stun because it combos so well with actually yeah. Um I'm actually gonna yeah, I'll move him down there actually. I don't feel like he's as good as Grim and Sparrow personally. Like Twin can be very good though, but I don't think he's as good as Sparrow or Grim. Then next we have Countess. I definitely say S tier. She does a lot of damage, lots and lots of damage. She kills tanks very quickly. Um, she kills tanks very quickly, and she kills your damagers instantly. She's very fun to play too. But yeah, for the most part, she's just really, really strong. Severog, we have. As much as I hate to do it, Severog is C tier. Severog is very, very. He has like the weakest start of anyone, pretty much, and it pretty much does affect him the entire game. Uh, Most of the time, anyway. It's so hard to build Severog unless you're constantly like ganking and stuff. You're not gonna be really doing well with him. It really requires you to eat like a lot of souls and stuff from people in order to gain your power, and even then, it's really tough to do. Grux, S tier. Grux is really strong. Like if anything, I'd probably like say he's like in between here. Grux is one of the strongest characters now. Ever since they changed his Warlord's Challenge, add a new item in the game for him, he is absolutely oppressive, and is like just out to annihilate your face. Um, Nothing else to really say. Um, yeah, Grux. I've been doing really well with Grux. Grux is just so strong now, and Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Richter. Uh, I say Richter's probably A tier. I don't think he's better than Decker when it comes to support. I feel like Richter's better for isolation though than her because of that hold of his. But the problem is Decker can kind of counter him just with the stun. So it's like, you know, it's kind of like a when to, it's you gotta know when to perfectly use it, I guess. Now, as you see, the roster is basically, well, the roster is depleted. There's no other characters in the game. So, who goes here, you might be asking. I will have a drum roll, please. Wait for it. Oh. Late game Severog. When you finally get to late game Severog, he is absolutely oppressive. Unkillable at best. When he gets his max build, no one can beat him. Nobody. It takes a combined force to defeat Severog in late game. And therefore, Severog, like I said, Severog early to mid is down here. But once he gets to the big Chungus level, this is where he is. And that completes my fault tier list. So, without further ado, I will be making some builds here soon for each character. Not sure when, but I will be. But without further ado, I think this has gone long enough, so I will cut it off here. Thanks for watching to the end, and I'll catch you in the next video I make.